Tomorrow we're going here. This is Belcastel in the Aveyron department of southwest France. This is the 15th century Église Sainte-Marie-Madeleine de Belcastel with a 21st century Jack Russell in front of it. Now we're going to Roc d'Anglars, which is the site of a 5th century fort. It's about 900 metres, just under a kilometre from the village. It's a nice little walk just outside the village, and we'll go to the village after this. It's quite a gentle walk up to the Roc d'Anglars, but for those that have problems walking, then it could be pretty damn impossible. They have woodpeckers here. Gentle little climb, but a climb nonetheless. So we came up the medieval path, but you may be able to get here by car. On the sign it said 0.9 kilometers. So I think this is the same guy that measured this, that measures the 3 seconds left when you're downloading from Windows or Mac. What a lovely little walk. I knew it. We've just come down a hill and I can just see up ahead another hill going up, and I guess as it's a fort it would be built in a high place for defensive reasons, not just to be awkward. Roc d'Anglars, Fort Lourdu. here we go. The walk takes us through the forest, which is pleasant. It's simply called Fort from now on, so I guess there's no others in the area. There is the fort. I'll tell you where it dates from in a second. So this is the Fort de Lourdes. As you can see, it dominates the valley of the river Aveyron, and there in the distance is Belcastel. But it looks like it was clearly just for defensive purposes, as there wouldn't have been many people living here, just a garrison of soldiers, I imagine. From here you can imagine the English being taunted by the French, and I blow my nose at you, you donkey bottom wiper, you English connigets. What really amazes me about these places, they're really sort of out of the way places. If you go to the Chateau Qatar in the Pyrenees, it's the same thing. Is they had to drag all of the building materials up here. I don't know from how far, but it's just amazing that they do this in the, you know, like ages ago. I have to find out exactly when it was built. I think it's 8th century, but I just don't want to be making too many mistakes like I normally do on my videos. So we'll say it's 8th century unless I correct it. Okay, so it's long before Belcastel was built, about 200 years before Belcastel itself was built. So a quick update on the Fort Lourdes. It's actually a 5th century. I mean, I thought 8th century was old enough, but it was a 5th century, and it would have protected the habitations that were around here before the chateau was built in Belcastel. What I would say as well, there's no parking here, although you could maybe find some place to park in the edges. However, it's pretty damn impossible if you've got any problem walking to get there. It's a nice place, but just rely on the photos or this video, and don't forget to subscribe. We're on our way back down to Belcastel, and I noticed there's a campsite there as well. Probably not open now, but I think it opens on the 1st of April. Just have to show you this. This is the municipal camping. It's absolutely fabulous, and I think it opens in April. I think it's April to October, and it's right alongside the river, and I'll be coming back here in my van, that is for sure. What a beautiful place. And this bridge, they're normally called the Pont Neuf, but I saw it marked as the Pont Vieux, the old bridge, and it dates from the 15th century. Absolutely amazing. I think they call it a donkey back bridge. Well, there wouldn't be much more than donkeys going across it at the time, or horses. And the pull of water, even in cold weather, is too much for a Jack Russell to resist. And he's cleaning out the river, part of our Eco-Aware Week. Well done, Stan. I don't know whether you can see on those houses, but you can just see by the pitch of the roofs that they get a bit of rain here. And in fact, there's another clue on top, which is snow guards, and that means they get quite a bit of snow here. Yeah, we're sort of getting into the middle of France. It's inland, so the temperature is pretty cool in winter. However, I have seen swallows the first day. Now I know one swallow, in fact I've seen about 4 of them, don't make a spring, but I saw them just under those eaves of those houses over there, and they were out chasing for insects, which is a great sign. It means that spring is here and summer is on its way. So we've just been for a nice walk up to the Fort of Lourdes, and you can also take this side of the river, and there's a big walk all the way down. There's a little bridge to another car park which is about, I don't know, 300 or 400 metres down the road that way. So there are car parks here, but I think in summer you'd have to pay. But that's not a bad thing really, I suppose. It helps keep the place tidy and clean and spick and span, and it's a fabulous little village. In fact, the 15th century bridge, it looks so out of place, not the bridge, but it looks out of place when you see cars going over it. And as we'll walk over it in a second, you'll see how narrow it is. It must be pretty dangerous, I guess. 15th century, you know. On the 14th of December 2003, that was the level of the water. So me and Stan would be underwater if we were there then. Phew, that was a narrow escape. As you see, it looks like there's some repairs done on the 14th of X-Brie 1906. In fact, it's December. Did you get it? And if you're hungry, apparently this restaurant over here, which is Étoilé Michelin, it's called the Vieux Pont, is very good. But we probably won't go there today. It's fabulous cobbles leading up to the bridge. This is the entrance to the village, which would have been gated in medieval times. There's a place for sale there if you're interested. This looks medieval, but it's not. It's a bread oven that was built by Mr. Ban in 1953. So we're just following the Sentier Médiéval, which is the medieval path, and it climbs a lot on cobbled streets. I wouldn't like to come here when it's been raining, so I think it'd be a little bit slippy slidey. But as you see, already some lovely views right over to that fabulous camping. It's obviously been done up a little bit, but this is a medieval bread oven for a pan. Now, we've got a problem. You're going to cook a cassoulet in medieval times. You don't have an oven in the house, so what do? Well, you bring it to the communal bread oven to get it cooked, and this would have been probably where many a cassoulet were cooked. The view from the top down to the Aveyron river. The chateau is actually a 9th century chateau, and it was rebuilt by a French architect in the 20th century after it had been deserted from the 17th century, and he built it with a dozen Algerian workers, and today it's owned by two Americans who run the AFA, I think it's the AFA gallery in New York, and they've opened it to the public, and there's also a gallery inside. Now it's the 5th of March today, even though it feels like it's summer. I'll go and have a look to see if it's open. I'm not fully sure, but we'll soon see. So this stream would have furnished the villagers with water all year round. It's right at the top of the village, so it's coming from a spring somewhere up in the hills. From up here we can see down to the 15th century bridge and the church, The steeple was actually built in the 20th century, at the beginning of the 20th century. And here's the chateau over here. A lovely little village. So nice that even Jack Russells like the view. How cute is this little house? And wherever you go in Belcastel, you can see the castle. So we've had a great day out in Belcastel, in the Aveyron. Now would I recommend it? Yep, I would. If you're interested in history, like real history, and seeing places that seems to have not moved in time. However, if you've got any problem with walking or getting about, I wouldn't recommend it, because you have to go up really steep cobbled streets, or to go to the fort, really steep places. So it's probably best not for you, but you could still enjoy the riverside, but it's not the whole village. So Belcastel, Aveyron, I recommend it.